And we're live. Hey, happy Friday, guys. Hope you guys all have had a good day so far. Here to talk about the 10-game NBA slate. So let's do it. We'll go over what we know so far. There's a lot of injuries to talk about. We can look at some numbers. We can look at over-unders, spreads, kind of the games that I'm targeting. We can look at players. I'll talk about the players that I like. I can give you kind of my core cash game plays or core four guys, I guess, that I'm kind of targeting. And then we can get to questions at the end. Last night's core four was pretty solid there with Kemba, with Al Horford, with Westbrook and CP3. Westbrook and CP3, we got a little bit unlucky there. The blowout, they got pulled with about 7 minutes left. I think if those two get those last 7 minutes, they probably both get over 50. So it could have been a smash night there. But okay, let's talk about this slate here. So we have the Hawks starting lineup. Now it's really early with Young, Herter, Reddish, Hunter, and Collins. Marcus Morris doubtful. Dennis Smith Jr. out. Randall again out. Justice Winslow's out. I mean, that does open up a little bit there for the secondary Miami pieces. We have DJ Augustine ruled out. Aaron Gordon questionable. Orlando. If Aaron Gordon misses, they're going to be pretty thin. Like if he does end up getting ruled out, I think Vucevic. I think Markelle Fultz even and. Even a guy like Terrence Ross would stand out as pretty good options. We have Gafford starting for Thad Young. Kind of expected that with the Pacers playing big. Let's see, what else? We have D'Angelo Russell ruled out Friday. We'll play Sunday. Kai Bowman will play Friday. Anthony Davis got ruled out. This was big news about a couple hours ago. So now LeBron James does stand out as a pretty good spend up at $11K. Also, JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard should split the center minutes. Normally, in a situation where Anthony Davis was ruled out, I play both McGee and Dwight. But Dwight has had 2 good games recently where his price is up. So I'm kind of only on JaVale McGee. I think Dwight Howard is more of a contrarian play. And then a guy like Kyle Kuzma as well does stand out. But his price is also kind of up there too. So I really think McGee probably stands out as the best value play there on the Lakers. We have Bjelica questionable. We have Marvin Bagley questionable. So the Kings, another team there's still a lot of stuff we're waiting for. Brad Beal got ruled out. This is big. This is the game I want a lot of exposure to. The two literally worst defensive teams, 2 teams that play at such a fast pace, and they're playing against each other. So I want a lot of exposure to this game. It's Trae Young, John Collins that stand out for me on the Atlanta side. On the Washington side, Jordan McRae, Troy Brown. Those are the guys I want the most exposure to. Don't mind Ish Smith or even Isaiah Thomas at under 4K. I'll talk about him as a value guy. But we have David Bertans in, but he's going to be at a minutes limit off the bench. We don't know what it's going to be. So as of right now, I don't think I can do it. I think he's more of just a dart throw play because if I had to guess, I think he gets around 25 or so minutes. That's just my best guess. Giannis available to play. Ersan out. We have the Knicks starting lineup with Alfred Payton, RJ Barrett, Bullock, Bobby Portis, and Taj Gibson. So Bobby Portis is going to have to do a lot there offensively. Even at his elevated price on DK, I still like him a good amount. I think that's going to lower the ownership on him a lot, but I still like Bobby Portis a lot at that price. Josh Hart once again starting for Jrue Holiday. Again, that's kind of expected. But okay, that's it. So let's take a look at some numbers here. We'll start with Atlanta and Washington. Again, 239. It was just 240. 1.5 point spread. So yeah, I want a lot of exposure to that game. We have Pelicans Knicks as well. This game stands out to me. Also 226.5 with the Pelicans here by 5. We have the Heat and the Nets at 218. With the Heat favored by 4.5. We have the Pacers Bulls 214.5 with the Pacers favored by 3.5. We have Spurs Grizzlies 231.5, a 1 point spread. That's a contrarian game. I could see some good options there. LMA and DeRozan on the San Antonio side, even DeJounte Murray, and then maybe like John Moran or Jonas Valanciunas. Those guys are again more contrarian, but I think a lot of those guys can go pretty low owned. We have Hornets Jazz. This one has a lot of blowout risk. 210.5 with the Jazz served by 12.5. We have Magic Suns 217.5. The Suns served by 4. Again, the Magic could be pretty short-handed. We have Lakers Mavs, no AD, 223.5 with the Mavs served by 2.5 points. We have Bucks Kings. Again, the Kings could be pretty short-handed if Bagley and Bjelica are both out, sitting at 224 with the Bucks served by 9. Late night hammer here, another game that has a lot of blowout risk. Warriors Clippers 218.5 with the Clippers served by 15 points. So let's talk about these games. We'll start the first game. And again, this is the game where I want a lot of exposure to. I was all over Trae Young a couple nights ago against Houston. He's about 20 to 25% owned, put up 80 fantasy points. Now, we're not going to get Ron. I'm going to go Trae Young. Even with Anthony Davis out, I prefer getting Trae Young in there over LeBron. Now, you can definitely play both for sure. I think that's a pretty safe way to go about it, is just to play both of them. But I will take the savings there in Trae Young over LeBron James right now in a better spot here. Again, this game just really stands out to me, so love Trae Young as a spend up. I think John Collins makes for an interesting contrarian play as well. At 8.5K, that price is going to scare off a lot of people, but I still have interest in them. And again, I think the ownership's going to be very low. I think a lot of people will just play Trae Young and then kind of move on, whereas John Collins, in my opinion, goes forgotten about. I think that's a mistake. I still like John Collins a good amount, even at this elevated price. I think he has 50, even 60 fantasy point upside in a game like this. So really like Trae Young. I think John Collins makes for a good contrarian play as well. Don't mind Kevin Huerter here at 6.1. He's been playing the big minutes. Kind of had an off game the last time out, but I'm fine with it if you want to get a relatively cheaper play in this game. So I'm okay with Huerter at that price. Everyone else, I don't think I would consider. Hunter, Reddish. They just have too many guys to split minutes. Alex Len is a guy that can get you their limited time. 5.2K though, he seems priced about right. So all in all, I love Trae Young again as a spend up. One of my favorite plays. I do like John Collins a good amount too. More of a contrarian play though, just for his price. And then I'm fine with Kevin Huerter. We move on to Washington. Again, I like a lot here with no Brad Beal. Jordan McRae probably stands out as my favorite play here at 6.5K. Only playing 20 minutes at last time out. Doesn't scare me at all. The game was a blowout. They just really limited the starters. This one should stay close. Again, 240 over under. Two of the fastest paced teams that play the worst defense going up against each other. Yeah, I'm all about Jordan McRae here at 6.5. One of my favorite plays there. And I also like Troy Brown, too, at 6.6. Even with Bertans playing limited minutes on the bench, I don't think that affects Troy Brown too much. Maybe he plays a few less minutes. But yeah, I really like McRae, and I really like Troy Brown here in kind of the mid-range. Those two really stand out to me. Now, Bertans is more of a dart throw play. We don't know what his minutes limit is going to be like. All we know is that he is going to be on one. Again, if you're going to make me guess, I think 25 minutes. That's just my best guess. Who knows? But yeah, I think he's more of just contrarian play because of the minutes limit. Ish Smith has been playing big minutes off the bench. 33, 34, 31, 25 the last time out. I think he probably gets close to 30 in a close game. So I don't mind Ish Smith at 5.7. I think, again, I would prefer McRae and Troy Brown, though, to Ish. And then everyone else, like Schofield with Bertans back, is not for me. AP at 4.6, got more run because of the blowout. He's priced up. I'll pass. Mahimi at 4.3 is okay, but I don't think I want to go there. Gary Payton's minutes too inconsistent. Don't trust Isaac Bonga. One guy that I actually do have interest in, just because there's not a whole lot of great values plays still on the slate, is Isaiah Thomas. I know that kind of sounds gross, but 23 and 24 minutes last couple games. If we can reject him for mid-20s minutes in this type of spot at under 4K, I have some interest in Isaiah. So yeah, I think he is viable there as a cheaper play, and that's really it. So Washington again, I love McRae. I really like Troy Brown. I think Ish Smith is viable, and then I don't mind a guy like Isaiah Thomas as a cheap guy at under 4K. But that wraps it up. So let's talk about the next game here, Pelicans and Knicks. On the Pelicans side, still no Drew Holiday, so Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball get a big usage boost there. Both are playing huge minutes. Ingram 38 and 39. Lonzo Ball playing 37 and 37 in back-to-back games. Yeah, both those guys I think are very, very viable. It's just, how much exposure do you want in the Atlanta-Washington game? If you only want like one or two pieces in that game, then you can go and try to get like an Ingram or a Lonzo Ball. My build right now, I have a lot of guys in that Atlanta-Washington game. That's kind of how I'm going about it. Again, I've been playing more GPP, so I'm kind of going more towards the game stack there for that game. But I still like Ingram. I still like Lonzo Ball. Favors got limited last time out with Jackson Hayes playing more minutes. I don't think I can go there right now. Redick is priced about right. Same with Josh Hart. One guy I do have some interest here as a value play is NAW at 3.3. 15 and 20 minutes in back-to-back games. I think we get right around the same here for this one. And he is a guy that, he can go out and get like 25 fantasy points in 20 minutes. So I think NAW does make for an okay value play here at almost mid price. Again, the reason why I'm not super high in favor is because Jackson Hayes got extended last couple games, 19 and then 24 minutes. Don't think we would expect 38 fantasy points from him again, though. And that basically wraps up there for the Pelicans. So let's move on to the Knicks. Knicks, we have no Julius Randle, no Marcus Morris. This is kind of where I'm taking a stand here, is with Bobby Portis. I think that price tag scares a lot of people away. It's not going to scare me. It's not going to scare me away. I still really like Bobby Portis at this price. In that game against the Jazz, it blew out. He played 29 minutes. He's probably on pace for about 32, 33 if the game stays close. This is one of the better spots here against the Pelicans, who played a really fast pace. Again, no Julius Randle, the highest usage guy out of the offense. No Marcus Morris, the second highest usage guy out of the offense. I still really like Bobby Portis at this price. I think that's more contrarian take. I think a lot of people will be scared off of that price, but I still like him a good amount there. Other options, Alfred Payton's okay. Mitchell Robinson as a GPP dart throw. RJ Barrett, I don't mind the price. I don't think I would go Bullock or Knox or any of these other guys. It's really my main interest there is Bobby Portis, and that's kind of it. Let's move on to Miami and Brooklyn. Miami with no Justice Winslow, those other secondary pieces get a slight boost, but he didn't play big minutes in the first game back, only 16. I think probably my favorite play here on the Miami side would be Tyler Hero at 4.2, who has gotten 25, 28, 26, so he's getting right around 25 minutes. This matchup's solid here against the Nets, and he's 4.2K. Again, the slate, there's not a whole lot of great value again, so I think Tyler Hero does stand out as a decent value option. Nunn, Jones Jr., Dragic are okay, but they don't really stand out. Jimmy Butler, I think, is a fine cash game option at 8K. We know he probably gets about 35 minutes, so I'm fine with him. Bam Adebayo, it's at 8.1. I just like other center options, so probably not going to go there. And that's really it. So let's talk about Brooklyn really quick here. Brooklyn is just a team, it's basically a full fade here. We have Miami, one of the toughest spots. So I don't have a whole lot of interest in. Now, we don't have Garrett Temple. We don't have Wilson Chandler. That will open up some minutes here. Maybe a guy like TLC could be a viable value play here at 3.2K. I think he gets extended. Maybe Kurucs, right? He's gotten some minutes with some of those guys out. Those are riskier options, but I guess I don't hate the idea of taking a shot there. We know the situation here with Jordan and Allen. They're going to split the center minutes. No one ever really stands out there. Dinwiddie is a fine option, but with LeVert now being back, that kind of caps his upside. So there's really not a whole lot that stands out here for me on the Brooklyn side. If we move on to Pacers and the Bulls. So we have Sabonis is questionable. I don't think that let me check Fantasy Labs really quick. I don't think we've gotten that news confirmed yet, whether he is fully in, but I can confirm that for you right now by looking. Let's see. We have, God, my phone has been so weird lately. Oh, Sabonis will play. Okay. And Brogdon rolled out. So that news just came out. Okay, Sabonis playing. I think even at this elevated price, I have some interest in. Again, it kind of makes it tricky with the 9.1K salary. But going up against the Bulls, no Wendell Carter Jr. Bulls are a team we do want to target bigs against. So I still like Sabonis here at this price. The big minutes, right, he's been playing 38 and 37 in back-to-back games. He's just so consistent. I do have some interest there in Sabonis at 9.1K. Now, with no Malcolm Brogdon, that makes Aaron Holiday viable here at 5.6, who should get close to 30. I'm okay with him in the mid-range, and also TJ McConnell will get around 20. He's an okay value play. Guys like Turner, guys like Lamb, guys like TJ Warren with Sabonis playing, probably not for me. So it's really kind of Sabonis for me, and then I don't mind those point guards, but that's really it for the Pacers. If you're talking about the Bulls here, so there's Levine in a tougher spot. I don't mind him just because the huge minutes and the shot attempts, right? 26, 21, 23, and 24. We know he's going to play, again, close to 40 minutes. He's been getting the peripheral stats as well. Even in a tough spot, I still have some interest there in Levine. Markkanen price came down to 6.1. Now, they are going to start Daniel Gafford at the 5. I still think Markkanen will get some run at the 5. I'm okay with him at this price. I think, Thad Young coming out the bench, maybe his minutes aren't as high as 35, but I still think he gets like mid-20s minutes. He doesn't really stand out, though, at that price to me. It is a revenge spot, but it doesn't do a whole lot for me. Daniel Gafford is interesting for me at 5.1. He's going to be in the starting lineup. We don't really know how many minutes he's going to play. Again, the Pacers do run big with Turner, with Sabonis. They have, Turner and Sabonis both get, around 30 minutes plus. So I think Gafford probably gets mid-20s minutes, maybe a little bit more. And we have seen him have upside games when he gets minutes. So I'm okay with Gafford there, 5.1. I think he goes super low owned. He doesn't stand out as a great play, but I think he is in play. Chris Dunn had a big game the last time out, but his price came up. Probably not for me. Santa Ramsey, too inconsistent. So that basically wraps it up there for the Chicago. So let's talk about San Antonio and Memphis. So this game is also pretty interesting because it's going to be really, really low owned. Like, I don't see anyone being high owned in this one, but there's some appealing plays here. 231.5 over under. This one should stay close. Aldridge, DeRozan, and DeJounte Murray stand out for me, especially Aldridge at 7.4, who's had a couple off games, but we know he has 50, even 6. Look, in this game against Memphis a couple weeks ago, I guess the 23rd, he had 65 fantasy points. So we just saw in this matchup LaMarcus Aldridge have a huge upside game. I don't think he goes high owned. I like him a lot at this price. I think he's a safe option with upside. So I do have interest there in Aldridge. I also like DeRozan, too, who's going to play the big minutes, right? Mid-30s or so. Again, this game is just, I don't think a lot of people are going to be high owned, but I have interest on both sides. Again, especially Aldridge, especially DeRozan. I don't mind DeJounte Murray. He won't get as many minutes, kind of capped at 28, but I'm okay with that at 6K. Everyone else, not really for me. I guess I don't mind Rudy Gay as a value option. Again, there's not a whole lot of I need to get this value guy in my lineup. So Rudy Gay at about 20 to 25 minutes at 4.2, I think it is a pretty solid value play here. Forbes, Mills, Derek White, not really for me. Those guys, one of those guys will probably have a decent game, but no one ever stands out there for me. So yeah, all in all, Aldridge and DeRozan have a good amount of interest there. I don't mind Rudy Gay as a value play. Talk about Memphis here. So on the Memphis side, Ja Morant at 7.2 feels priced about right. He has had 40 fantasy points in 2 of the last 3 games. This game should be played at a fast pace, but it just makes it tricky for me to get Ja Morant or to prioritize getting him in my lineup when you got, some of those Washington guys like McRae, like Troy Brown, similarly priced. So I'm okay with Ja. He's more of a contrarian option. Same thing with Jaren Jackson Jr. at 7.1. JV at 6.7 does have upside games every once in a while, and he's more of a contrarian option, though. In the game against San Antonio, 25 minutes, 38 fantasy points. He can get you in a limited time. But again, I think he's just more contrarian GPP play. Everyone else, I never really considered these secondary pieces, so that's really it. I guess I do like the San Antonio side more with Aldridge, with DeRozan, but I'm okay if you want to run it back with one of those 3, whether it be Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jonas Valanciunas as part of a game stack. Again, I think this game goes pretty low owned, but there still are some appealing plays there. Charlotte and Utah, so this game is basically a full fade for me, at least for cash games, right? We're sitting at 12.5 point spread. I just don't have a whole lot of confidence in Charlotte keeping this game close. It's also going to be played at a snail's pace, really, really slow. 2 teams that play at, really slow paces. Utah, I think it's 27th. Charlotte's dead last in pace. So yeah, this game is basically cross-off for me. No interest on the Charlotte side. I guess if you're going to ask me to play one play, it would be Rozier, who's playing the big minutes, but I'm still not going to go there. On the Utah side, I mean, you can take shots here, but I'm not confident this game's staying close. I don't like the pace at all in this one. So it's basically a cross-off and move on. I think it's pretty simple. So let's talk about Orlando and Phoenix. This one I have some more interest here on the Orlando side especially. We have no Jonathan Isaac, no DJ Augustine, and possibly no Aaron Gordon. So that is going to open up a lot if Aaron Gordon gets ruled out. Now Vucevic at 8.8 I think does stand out as a really good center play if Aaron Gordon gets ruled out. He's just going to have to do a lot here. The matchup against Phoenix, pretty solid. Phoenix playing at a faster pace. So yeah, I do think Vucevic does stand out as one of the better center plays here at 8.8. I'm okay with Fournier, who will get more usage with if Aaron Gordon gets ruled out. Also, Markelle Fultz and no DJ Augustine. I don't think he's going to play like 40 minutes, but I think maybe his minutes go up by a couple, like maybe 33, 34. I think he does stand out as a pretty solid mid-tier play here at 5.8K. I also think Terrence Ross, I'm not a big Terrence Ross guy, but if Aaron Gordon gets ruled out, they're just going to be super, super thin. I think he'll probably get around 30 minutes. He's a guy that's going to shoot the ball a lot. Very scoring dependent, so he does have a kind of low floor. But again, if Aaron Gordon gets ruled out, I would have interest there in Terrence Ross. As far as like the value guys, I don't think we have to consider Wesson Wundo, or I don't really want to go to Kem Birch. Those are very, very low usage guys. Maybe Josh Maget or Maget, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. He'll probably get a little run, but I don't think we have to consider those guys. So yeah, all in all, if Aaron Gordon gets ruled out, I think it's Vucevic that stands out as a really good center play. And then I think Markelle Fultz and Terrence Ross kind of on the cheaper end would be pretty solid options as well. But let's talk about Phoenix here. So Phoenix, the good thing with them is their consistent rotations of late. Everyone's playing big minutes to starters. Booker getting close to 40. Even in a tougher spot, Orlando plays at a slow pace. I still have some interest here in Booker, who's just been amazing. He's getting more peripheral stats as well, so I still have interest there in Booker. Ayton at 7.8K, probably not for me. I just like other center plays like Vucevic. I would much rather get to him for an extra 1,000 or so. Kelly Oubre's okay at 7K. I don't mind Ricky Rubio at 6.9, who, again, the minutes 33, 37, 35. His upside has been kind of capped with Devin Booker playing so well, but I'm okay with it as a cash game option here at 6.9. Aaron Baines at 4.8. Again, he's not going to play the big minutes. He probably gets around 25. I don't think we have to do that. And then the value guys, there's really no one on the Phoenix side. So that was pretty easy, pretty quick. I think it's definitely Devin Booker being my favorite play there at 8.4K. Even in a tough spot, he's just been amazing of late. Now let's talk about the Lakers and Mavs. So, huge news here, right? No Anthony Davis. I think LeBron does stand out as a pretty solid spend up here who's, his upside is pretty high here with no Anthony Davis. He's going to be the do-it-all guy, clearly. I think he is, again, it's a close call with me with whether, if I'm picking between Trae Young or LeBron, it's really close. I'm going to give the edge to Trae Young, but I think you can definitely play both if you want to. I think both have a pretty high floor as well as a high ceiling. So, yeah, obviously you can't go wrong with LeBron there at 11K. It's just whether or not do you feel comfortable with the value guys to get him in. So, again, normally when Anthony Davis has been ruled out the few times this season, I have played both Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. The issue now is Dwight Howard's price is way up to 5.6, where I just don't think there's enough meat on the bone there for me to get to him. But JaVale McGee does stand out as one of my favorite plays here. Again, I think McGee and Dwight are going to split the center minutes, the 48 center minutes. I think maybe down the middle at 24-24 or maybe like 20-28, right? Something like that. Either way, whenever you can project JaVale McGee to get more run, you got to have interest in him. So I think he stands out as one of the better value plays of the day here at 4.3K. I don't mind Kuzma either. He's going to start. He'll get more run, obviously. The issue is his price. He's not like the great value play, but I still think he is viable at 5.3. Now, I'm going to prefer JaVale McGee for an extra $1,000 less, but I don't mind Kuzma. The other pieces like Danny Green, KCP, Avery Bradley, they're too score independent. Their role doesn't really change for me. Rondo maybe gets a little extra run. I'm okay with that at 4K. He's gotten 20 and 23 minutes the last couple games, so I think he is a viable, cheaper option who I think was kind of forgotten about on the slate, but does still have upside in him. And that's really it. So with the Lakers, yeah, again, LeBron stands out as a good spend-up play. I don't mind Kuzma. I think JaVale McGee, one of my favorite value plays of the day. And then also don't mind Rondo. I think goes very low owned, but does, I think, still have upside at that price at 4K. So let's move on to Dallas. Dallas, this is one of the worst spots here against the Lakers. Doncic at 12.6. I just don't see myself getting here. Can he get you there still? Of course he can with no Porzingis. His upside is massive, but I just don't see enough value plays I'm comfortable with to fit Luka in. And again, I just really like that Atlanta-Washington game especially, so I want a lot of exposure to that game. So it just makes it tricky to get to Luka. I think he's just more of a contrarian GPP option here at that price. Again, you had to sacrifice a lot to get Luka in. And then everyone else, it's basically a full fade for me with Hardaway now back. That kind of takes DeLon Wright, Seth Curry, like the inconsistent rotations on this 10-game slate. I just don't think we have to do it. Kleber and Powell have been getting more run, but again, really tough spot against the Lakers. So Dallas kind of a fade for me. Let's talk about Milwaukee and Sacramento. So on the Milwaukee side, I think Giannis is a contrarian spend up. Again, I just think Trae Young and LeBron are the safer spend ups in my opinion. But I think Giannis is an interesting pivot off of them at 11.1. The concern with him is just the minutes, right? Even in close games, he's only getting like low 30s minutes. Now, he can still definitely get you there in like 30 minutes. Like Giannis could get you 70 fantasy points in 30 minutes for sure. That's definitely viable. The Kings don't have a whole lot of guys who can stay with him, right? So I think Giannis is more of a just contrarian spend up. I like him, but I don't think he's the cash game build there. Then everyone else, probably not for me. I mean, Bledsoe did get 30 minutes that last game out, but that was with no George Hill. I think with George Hill now back, maybe Bledsoe's back to 25 minutes. Again, Middleton, Bledsoe are guys who usually look to with Giannis out. With Giannis in, they're always kind of a pass for me. DiVincenzo's price is up. George Hill's an okay value play. I think he gets around 20 minutes. I'm fine with that. No Ersan. Again, they just have a plethora of guys they can use. Wes Matthews, Connaughton, maybe Robin Lopez, Kyle Korver. Like, I don't think that's a big deal, really. Maybe Giannis gets an extra minute or two. But, yeah, all in all, it's kind of Giannis, and that's it here for the Bucks. And I think he's more just a contrarian spend up for me. Let's talk about the Kings. So this kind of sucks because it's the late game, and we're waiting on two pretty big pieces of injury news here with the availability of Marvin Bagley as well as the availability of Bjelica. So we already have Holmes ruled out. We already have Bogdan ruled out. So the Kings going to be pretty thin. If both Bagley and Bjelica are out, that's going to change up a lot of things, right? I think a guy like Trevor Ariza plays a lot of minutes at the 4. I think he would become a viable play at 4.7. And then Dedmon and Giles would split the center minutes. We saw Dedmon get way more run there the last time out, 32 minutes, whereas Giles started and only played 16. But I think both those guys would become very viable as value plays. Everyone else, like Corey Joseph, maybe gets an extra run, but I don't think I would consider him. I think De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield, if they're going to keep it close, if this is talking if Bagley and Bjelica are out, those two guys are going to have big games. So I actually don't mind De'Aaron Fox as a contrarian play. Again, I think he goes very low owned, but the Bucks play at a fast pace, and again, if the Kings are going to keep it close, most likely Fox, most likely Hield. So I do kind of like De'Aaron Fox as a contrarian play. Again, I think he's super, super low owned. Again, don't mind Buddy Hield either at that price. But if Marvin Bagley gets ruled in and he's not going to be on a minutes limit and Bjelica's out, I think we probably get around 25 minutes. I think he would be okay. Again, Bjelica, if he's in and Bagley's out, I think he probably gets closer to 30. He would be an okay option. But if both those guys are out, then again, that's a usage boost to Hield and Fox, as well as, I think Ariza gets a good amount of run at the 4, and then Dedmon and Giles would probably split the center minutes. So yeah, that's kind of it for Sacramento. Again, it kind of sucks that this is one of the late games. We're not going to get that news most likely. But okay, let's talk about Golden State and the Clippers, and then I'm going to get to questions here. We got about 10 minutes until lock. On the Golden State side, it's basically nothing for me. We still have no D'Angelo Russell, which is good, but no one's playing big minutes. I think if I was going to play one guy, it would be Alec Burks, who can get to the limited time, can get extended to 30 minutes or so if he's playing well. But that's really it. I think that's just more of, again, a contrarian play. No one else stands out to me. Draymond Lee, Glenn Robinson, Willie Cauley-Stein, Spellman, Pascal. It's just basically a full fade. And on the Clippers side, again, this game is sitting at 15-point spread. So this is, again, not a game you can look to for cash games. I think Kawhi Leonard, where's Kawhi here? At 9.9 with no Paul George is, again, just more of a contrarian spend up here. I think it's LeBron and Trae Young as the safer spend ups. Again, I just can't do it in cash games. I'm too concerned about the blowout. He probably gets around 35 minutes. If Golden State can somehow keep it close, he can have an upside game, but I don't see myself going there. Lou Williams and Montrez are viable as well, but again, I'm really scared about the blowout here. 15-point spread. Even with no Paul George, the Clippers are still one of the better teams in the NBA. So, yeah, Lou still has upside, obviously, no Paul George. Same with Montrezl Harrell, but I just can't trust it. Again, that 15-point spread. A guy like Zubac at 4.2, probably gets 15 to 20 minutes. I'm okay with him as a value play, but I would prefer JaVale McGee at a similar price. That's really it. So let me check Fantasy Labs one more time here, and then we can get to questions. Let's see. Come on. God, my phone has been terrible here. I don't know what's going on with my Twitter recently. Let's see. Ooh, TJ McConnell will start for Malcolm Brogdon. Now that is surprising, and that does give me more interest there in TJ McConnell for sure. Wizards starting Isaiah Thomas, Peyton, McRae, Bonga, Mahimi. Again, I'm not really too concerned with Troy Brown not starting, but back to the Pacers. I think TJ McConnell now stands out as a pretty good value option. I might try and rearrange things and get him in there. Yeah, I think with him starting, he probably gets mid-20s minutes, maybe a little bit more. So now TJ McConnell, I think, does stand out as a really solid play there at his price. But, okay, let's talk about it. Again, if you guys enjoy this content really quick, would I appreciate if you hit that like button. Free videos, free live streams, but let's do it. I like DeRozan. Yeah, I think DeRozan is more contrarian today, but that game in general does stand out as a good stack for GPPs. Hey, DK, Ball or McRae for cash? I like both, but I got to go McRae there. DeRozan or Aldridge? I always give the edge to Aldridge over DeRozan. I just think he has a little bit of higher floor, but both are very viable. Oh, yeah, core plays. Yeah, let me do core plays. Forgot about that. So, yeah, it's really all about this Atlanta-Washington game for me. So, with also... Okay, so first we'll start Trae Young, right? 10.4, he's my favorite spend up. On the Washington side, my favorite play is Jordan McRae. So those two, as well as JaVale McGee being one of my favorite value plays for the Lakers, we'll throw him in at center. Let me go to the Lakers. Let me go to JaVale McGee, center. Yeah, so JaVale McGee at 4.3. And then I think it's going to be TJ McConnell here. With him starting, I just think he probably gets more run. And he is at 4.2. He is a good point per minute guy. I think he probably gets 25 to 30 minutes. So I think now TJ McConnell, one of the better value plays. So there it is. There's the core four. Trae Young, Jordan McRae, JaVale McGee, and TJ McConnell. Those are the guys I think I would probably build around. Again, I'm fine with LeBron if you want to try to squeeze him in there. I think that is doable. I'm fine with the Sacramento or the San Antonio Memphis game if you want to try to go there. But yeah, those four I think stand out as really solid a core there. But let's see, Hart or Ross. Again, it's kind of dependent on. Sorry, I can't talk. The availability of Aaron Gordon. If Aaron Gordon gets ruled out, I think I would go Ross there. TJ McConnell for cash. Yeah, I think you can do it. I really think that is viable now with him starting. I just think that kind of secures his minutes. Now, I mean, I guess we could see him start and still play the same minutes, but I would be a little bit surprised about that. I think he probably gets more run. And I just think his ownership's going to be low because or lower than it should be because this news came out so late. But yeah, as of right now, I am currently trying to get him in my lineup. We'll see if I can do it here. Let's see. Okay, but let's keep it going here. So Barrett or Hero, they're different prices. If you have a salary, Barrett, but I think Tyler Hero does stand out as a decent option. Bam or Kawhi. I'll go Bam just because I think that game had the Kawhi. I really think the Clippers are going to blow out Golden State. Booker, TLC, Brolo, or Bam, KCP, and Barrett. I guess Bam, KCP, Barrett. McConnell over IT. I think I would go McConnell over IT. Now, I still like IT as a value play. Again, that's who I'm taking out right now to get TJ McConnell in. As I'm taking IT out, I'm trying to rearrange some things. So I had IT and MAW as a really cheap value play, but now I have TJ McConnell and 3.1K remaining. I'm trying to find if I can get anyone in here, but I don't think there is anyone even viable at this price. So I might have to do some rearranging here. Might have to take Bobby Portis out, even though I love him. Okay. Thoughts on Josh Majette? Wouldn't do it. Hield or Lou Williams? I got to go Buddy Hield there. Thoughts on Isaiah Thomas, Jordan McRae, LeBron, Kuzma, McGee, Fultz, Butler, and Josh Hart? No issue at all. Favorite forward under 4.3. Favorite forward, let's see. Forward under 4.3. I think it's probably Rudy Gay. Thoughts on Dylan Brooks? I'm never a Dylan Brooks guy, but he is kind of score independent. I'm fine with it. It's a good matchup. 5.3K. Probably gets 30 minutes. I'm okay with it. I just don't think he has huge upside. Collins or Sabonis? That's a good question. I will go... It's almost a coin flip for me. If you're going more towards a game stack in that first game, then I guess go Collins. But if you want to go more of a cash game build to kind of spread it out, then go Sabonis. Like if you have a lot of exposure to Atlanta, Washington already, and you have a cash game lineup, maybe go Sabonis there. I got a fire lineup. I don't think that I got used all my salary. Considering it's a 10-game slate, I think it'll be okay. Yeah, you definitely don't have to use it. Favorite play around 4.4K other than McGee and McConnell. Sorry, I got 2 minutes left. I'm trying to get McConnell in over Isaiah Thomas still. After this question, you might have to give me a minute so I can rearrange my lineup. I guess Tyler Hero probably with McGee and McConnell. Him, Rudy Gay. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. Isaiah Thomas is okay too. But yeah, sorry guys, bear with me. Give me 1 minute here as I try to do some rearranging. I love Bobby Portis, but I think I got to take him out, unfortunately. Let's see. Maybe I keep him in and then just take a dart throw on like a Runios Kuruks who maybe gets 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm just talking to myself here. I guess I can do that. Okay. Let's go back to some questions here. Waiters active. Doesn't do a whole lot for me. Don't think he played. Oh, Kuzma or Rondo for cash? I think it's probably Kuzma because Rondo's been very inconsistent. Playing Gibson tonight, wish me luck. Do you think of Miami, Duncan Robinson will get 30-plus minutes? Just wondering. I did pick up McConnell. No, I don't think so. I guess he has gotten 31, 36, 29. Yeah, he's a viable, cheaper option. My concern with him is he is very scoring dependent. Rolling with McRae, DeRozan, Portis, McGee, Rondo, Harrell, McConnell. Yep, that's perfectly fine with me. I'm just trying to see the Nets here. Trying to see their rotations and seeing if it is viable for me to play Runios Kuruks here at basically min price. So he did start, played 19 minutes. Wilson Chandler also out. That's more run against Sono Garrett Temple. Those minutes have to go somewhere. Yeah, so I think I am actually okay with Kuruks or TLC. I'm just talking I'm trying to talk myself into him. I think those two guys are viable dart throw options here. Okay, back to it. Portis or Kuzma and cash. I'll go Portis. Good point. Thank you, DK. Let's see. Yep. Good luck tonight, guys. Yeah, we're at lock. I can go over some ownership in a sec, but yeah, I'm taking a shot at Kuruks. Hopefully he gets me like 15 to 20. We'll see how it goes. Okay, let's take a look at some ownership here. So in the $40 single entry tournament, let's see. Trae Young, 45% owned. Jordan McRae, 51%. Again, kind of expected that. Troy Brown, 6% owned. Hey, I'm all about that. John Collins, 12%. So you guys can kind of see how I'm going. I went with the full game stack there of Atlanta, Washington. So I got Trae Young and Collins, running it back to McRae and Troy Brown. Let's see. Whoa, who just got scratched? Sabonis out? Really? Okay, well, that changes things, obviously. Yeah, Sabonis scratched. Okay, well, that game is... That's not a lock, right? Yeah, that game is the 7 o'clock game. So, yeah, Goga season. That's true. Hey, I might... If Goga gets ruled in as a starter, I might play him instead of Kurucs here. Okay, let's talk about Indiana, the Pacers now. So now they're pretty short-handed. That's just a boost to everyone else with no Sabonis. I think Miles Turner, if you can get there at 6.1, does stand as a really good play in my opinion. Also, guys like Lamb, guys like T.J. Warren, they are very, very much in play as well. Again, I already talked about really liking T.J. McConnell. I think they could start Goga here at the flat minimum. Chicago does run big. We'll see if he does start. I would have interested at 3K. If he doesn't start, he's more of a riskier option. But yeah, now the Pacers become a pretty appealing team. Again, my favorite play still being T.J. McConnell, but I think Miles Turner just shoots up as one of the better plays at 6.1. Really like him. I'm fine with Lamb and Warren as well, whose usage will go way up. So yeah, now the Pacers are a team that I do want some exposure to there. Yeah, T.J. Warren, perfectly fine. Kuzma or McConnell and Cash. I'll definitely go T.J. McConnell there. Yeah, rip to anyone on FanDuel. That sucks if you played Sabonis on FanDuel. Yeah, I really feel for you if you did. Let's see. I guess I could now. I'm just talking to myself. Now I could take Bobby Portis out. I could play Miles Turner at center. And then, I guess I don't really have still a whole lot of great options. I guess I could play TLC or Taj Gibson still. It's kind of the same options, or Kurucs. But yeah, basically what I'm saying here is I like the Pacers a lot now, especially T.J. McConnell. T.J. McConnell and Miles Turner are probably my favorite plays there on the Pacers side. Okay. Trying to listen to Pacers coach.
His back is fine. He woke up this morning, had a strep throat, and so he will be out tonight.
I was just seeing if we got any news on who would start for Sabonis. But yeah, if Goga does start, he would obviously become one of the better value plays. They could start a guy like Justin Holiday, play more small ball. He would become a cheaper option. They could start a guy Doug McDermott. They have a lot of options they can start here. So we'll see what they end up doing. I have no sympathy for FanDuel players. You know what you're getting into by not playing DK. Yeah, I mean, I stopped playing on FanDuel years ago because of late scratches and stuff. I just lost so much money because of it. So, yeah, Portis or Turner, other. Yeah, I mean, that's really close now with Bobby Portis and Miles Turner. I like both a lot. Still trying to figure that one out. That's basically a coin flip. I like both those guys a good amount. What about McDermott? Yeah, like I said, he would become viable too. Like, he could start. They have a lot of different guys they can use. He's very, very scoring dependent and a very low usage guy, but he's at min price. Again, my priorities are T.J. McConnell and Miles Turner, but I'm perfectly fine with Warren and Lamb if you want to go there too. And then whoever starts would become a viable value play. Well, good night. On to tomorrow. I had Sabonis. Damn. Sorry about that, man. That really sucks. Kuzma and Turner or Portis and Barrett and Cash. That's close, man. That's really close. I will go with Bobby Portis and RJ Barrett. Would you prefer Goga over Turner if he starts? They're obviously different prices, but if Goga starts, I don't know. I don't know if he would start alongside Miles Turner, two kind of centers. I really don't think that's going to happen, but if he would start, maybe, I don't know. I don't really know how many minutes he would get, to be honest, if he starts. Like, Goga could play 10 minutes or he could play 25, right? So I think I would still feel better about T.J. McConnell and Miles Turner. What about Luka? Do you feel comfortable with the value, guys, or are you to sacrifice a lot to get him in? Should I switch Butler and Josh Hart to Miles Turner and Jaren Jackson Jr.? I think I would. I think Miles Turner really stands out as a pretty good play there with no Sabonis. Thoughts on Bobby Portis? I still really like him. I think his ownership is going to be lower, but I still think he stands out as one of the better plays of today. Ariza value, yeah, that's kind of dependent on Bjelica and the Marvin Bagley news. Red Turner playing the 4 tonight. Markin will feast. Yeah, I mean, he can. Warren Lamb over Kuzma and Cash. Pretty good question. With no Sabonis, too. Like, Sabonis is such a big part of that offense. I think I would. I think I would go either Lamb or T.J. Warren, whichever you feel better about, over Kuzma and Cash. It's close. It definitely is. But, Kuzma is still playing alongside LeBron James. Whereas the Pacers, with no Sabonis, no Malcolm Brogdon, yeah, those guys definitely stand out as pretty good options. So I think I would. It's a close call. Kai Bowman, no thank you. 8 p.m. turbo lineup as of now. TJM, Levine, DeRozan, Warren, Miles, Morant, Justin Holiday, Goga. We gotta see what they're going to do with the starting lineup. Who are we using from the late game? I'm not using anyone from the late game as of right now. But okay, I'm gonna hop out of here, guys. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, that is important. I will give my thoughts as we get this news throughout the rest of the night. But I really do appreciate always coming to check out the live stream. I'm going to have my video up for the Saturday slate later tonight, probably, if not tomorrow morning. We'll see how I feel. But thanks again, guys. I really do appreciate all of you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good luck, everyone, and let's win some money.